Hey everyone, I'm going through my comics again. Let's see, I have this shelf up here. Let's see, you can kind of see it on camera there. And yeah, I don't know, I was just thinking of putting everything in alphabetical order there. So, oh boy, there's some dust on that one. So while I'm alphabetizing everything, I'm going to go through some of the comics I have, because I got some cool stuff here. Here's the old, let's see, what is this? Gold Key Lost in Space comic. Interesting thing I found out about this, when I was a kid, I used to see Lost in Space once in a while on TV. They'd have it on, like, really early in the mornings, and I really liked it. I mean, I was a kid, I liked Lost in Space, and I was always a big sci-fi kid, so when I found some old issues of a comic book of it, I was like, awesome! So, oh boy, that light is getting really bright. Let me try and, ah, it's a little better. Ugh, it's right in my eyes. Anyway, I found these old Gold Key Lost in Space comics. I thought, oh, cool, there was a comic, and then I read it. I have no idea who any of the characters are. There's no robot, there's no Dr. Smith. There's nothing I recognize except for the name Lost in Space and the character's last name being Robinson. And anyway, I found out that the comic actually came out before the show. Isn't that weird? So yeah, there was a Lost in Space comic, and the show stole the name. And apparently, like, I've heard rumors that that Gold Key, the comic publishers or whoever, they were thinking of like suing or taking some kind of action against the show, but the success of the show actually boosted sales of the comics, so they didn't care. Yeah. Oh, and here it is. This is the first Lost in Space comic that I ever found, and this guy on the cover, I was pretty sure this was supposed to be Dr. Smith. It looks like him, and the girl next to him, it doesn't look exactly like her, but I thought that was Penny Robinson. Turns out it isn't, but yeah, whatever. So anyway, there's some of these weird Space Family Robinson comics. Oh, and then there was an actual comic based on the show from Innovation Comics. I have most of these, I think. I'm only missing a couple here and there of the Innovation series. Let's see. Let's see. Man, some of these had like really dynamic covers. I really like these. Oh, and one of the cool things, we got to see the characters like growing up. There's Will growing up there. Isn't that weird? And let's see. Oh, and then there was this one. I forgot about this. I found this one at the comic book store. It's not, let's see, part 1 of 2, The Early Life of Maureen Robinson, the mother in the show, I believe. It's been a while since I've seen it. And then, oh, this was weird. Lost in Space, a graphic novel based, it was a sequel to the movie, the 90s Lost in Space movie. Isn't that cool? When I was a kid, I had found the first issue of this, and like as a kid, I was a fan of the movie. I didn't see it like as being like negative to the series or anything. Like a lot of fans, they really hated the movie, but I kind of liked both of them. So whatever, it was a fun movie. Anyway, so I found the first issue. I really loved it. Then a couple years went by. Like there weren't any comic book stores when I was really little. There was Fat Cat Comics, but that was kind of far away, and I was a little like too young to really appreciate comics the way I do now. So anyway, years later, I think it might have been at Fat Cat, I found the second issue, and I was like, oh, cool, more of it, and then that was it. I couldn't find the rest, and until actually, I don't think I ever found the third issue. I found the graphic novel paperback collection before I ever found all 3 individual issues. Oh, and this is cool. Toxic Avenger. Now, here's a weird thing. Let's see. This comic is from, let's see, Trauma Comics. Yeah, Trauma apparently tried to print their own comics for a while. I got super lucky at Soundground and happened across this in the box that just said Indie Comics T. Yeah, they have so many like overstocks. They would just stick them in bins, and yeah, I found issue 1 of The New Adventures of the Toxic Avenger, and I could never find any more. I don't know if there are any more. Anyway, here's the one more people are familiar with, the Marvel Toxic Avenger series, which was pretty cool, and I think I have almost all of that series. I think I'm missing an issue here or there. I don't know how many. Okay, here it is. issue 11 was the explosive final issue, and one of the cool things, they would actually put images from, like, the movies on the cover sometimes. And then there was also a Toxic Crusaders comic, yeah, based on the cartoon. No idea how many they made of this, but I have, let's see, I think about the first 7 issues there. So let's see, Lost in Space. Should that go under L or S for Space Family Robinson? I'll go under L, Lost in Space. And then Toxic Avenger, T. And then, oh, New Warriors. Let's see. So yeah, here's the New Warriors. This one, I think I'm pretty sure I only got this because of the Punisher guest stars in it. Yep, and there he is. There's the Punisher. One of my favorite characters, and holy crap, there's a lot of New Warriors comics. Well, one of the things with this shelf up here, it fits, like, on this wooden bookshelf I have almost entirely. There's some spots on top where it's really thin, so alphabetical or not, comics that I have a lot less of than this would have to go there. So anyway, New Warriors, that will go under N, so LMN. I'll stick that on there, and I don't want to pick all that up, so I'll just put Toxic Avenger to the side there. Let's see, Marvel Comics Presents. Okay, now this was a cool series. Oh, it's another one I have a ton of, because I really liked this. Let's see. This was like a monthly anthology series. Let's see, there'd be like 2 or 3 stories in one, and one of the cool things was they would focus on like some really obscure characters of the Marvel Universe, so I really liked that. So, Marvel Comics Presents. I guess, I don't know, I guess that would be M for Marvel. So, LMN. Oh, perfect. Oh, and here's a Spider-Man one. Web of Spider-Man. I think the very first Spider-Man comic I read was a Web of Spider-Man. Let's see if I can find that here. I don't have too many Spider-Mans, not because I don't like it, but because Spider-Man's kind of easy to find. Like the older issues. Ooh, I loved this one. With, let's see, what's his name? Rocket Racer. Yeah, this kid, and, yeah, really liked that. Really liked that one. Let's see. Oh, man, look at... Oh, here it is! Now, this is the very first Spider-Man comic I ever read. With this bad guy, Bloodshed, who I don't think never ever shows up again. I remember, let's see, this isn't the issue I had when I was a kid. That one is long gone, I think. I think I gave that one away after I found a copy in a bag that was in mint. So, I think I found this in the basement of a bookstore. They had a box down there, and it had comics in there once. And so every month I'd go down there with my allowance and buy up a bunch of comics. So, let's see, Web of Spider-Man. I'll just put it under S for Spider-Man. I think there's some more Spider-Mans in this pile here, maybe. Or maybe they're... Oh, yeah, they're back there. Oh, and here, Classic X-Men. Yeah, I guess I'll put it under X for X-Men. Oh, and then Mutant X. This was a pretty cool X-Men spin-off series about, crap, what was it about? It was about, dang, what's his name? Havoc in another universe where everything is weird. And, like, there's, like, evil versions, or, like, monster-y versions of the X-Men. I was into it as a kid. I'm not really as big into it now. Let's see. Oh, and Bloodshot. This was, let's see, another, like, old comic that or, well, it's not old, but it was one of the first comics I read. Let's see, where is it? Okay, there it is. This was the first issue of Bloodshot that I read, and I really liked it. It's not the same as most issues. It's probably one of the better issues, actually, of the series, but it was, I don't know, I have nostalgia for it, so I went and I found quite a bit of the series. Soundground had a couple issues of this, but they were pricey for some reason, so I don't know, maybe other people have some fond memories of Bloodshot. Okay, let's see what we got back here. Oh, Wolverine. I love that cover. That's one of my favorite covers of Wolverine. Oh, or Hulk. So yeah, a bunch of random Wolverine comics there. Oh, and there's like a free comic book day, or just a free promo thing. I don't remember. I really like Wolverine. He's one of those characters where, like, no matter what it is, I can pick it up and read it, and usually get some enjoyment out of it. Oh, and here's a whole mess of Spider-Man comics. Let's see, what do we got? Spider-Man, like adjectiveless Spider-Man. Oh, and then Amazing Spider-Man. See, somewhere I have a... Oh, I must have given it away. One of the really cool things I found when I was a kid was somebody had like a bunch of old vintage comics, and they had an Amazing Spider-Man... what was it? Like some kind of special issue, number 5, I think. And it was so cool to be able to read like a comic that old. It was like from the 60s, and I just thought, oh wow, that's so cool to have a comic that's that old. Oh, and then there's a, let's see, there it is. This one's all raggedy on the edges, because, yeah, I read that a lot when I was just a little kid. So, yeah, this would go under S for Spider-Man. Oh, and then this one's easy. Archer and Armstrong. A for Archer and Armstrong. I really loved this. This was a really, really fun comic. And then, let's see, yeah, they remade it a couple of years ago. They came out with a new version of it, which, it's fine. Like, it's a fun comic. I didn't really get into the new series that much. Let's see, will this fit on top? Yeah, it won't fit on top, so I guess that'll go there. And then, let's see, B for Bloodshot. Oh, here's something funny. Free comic book day. There was a live-action Bloodshot movie, and there was a comic for it. Let's see. The comic doesn't appear to have much to do with the movie, but whatever. I probably wouldn't like it. Oh, well, how should this go? Should it go top, bottom, from left to right, or should it go left to right, top to bottom? I'm gonna do it top to bottom, left to right. Okay, so A, B, C, I don't know what to... Okay, I got everything up on the shelf there now, and I have an extra space on the top for some small amount of thin comics. And right here is something really cool. I just have a bunch of mostly indie comics, so I'm going to go through all of those. Here's a, let's see, this was like a promo 50 cents issue of PvP, Player versus Player. It was an old video game webcomic, kind of like Penny Arcade. I think the characters actually showed up in Penny Arcade once in a while. Oh, and then I have a book of Player vs. Player. I know I found more of Player vs. Player, but I don't think I actually bought any more. Oh, and here's a cool thing. Furlough. Yeah, like really old school furry comic. All safe for work stuff. And it was actually pretty good. I really like this. I'd love to find more of Furlough. Love this jokey artwork all throughout it. And here's another not as well known old school furry thing, Tales from the Aniverse. Don't know much about this one. I'm sure I've read this before, but I don't recall much about it. Dead Space comic. I remember, let's see, a comic book store was like having a sale on comics. You get a whole bunch of them for 50 cents each, and I think I had found an odd number, so I just got this to even it out, and I remember reading this, and it was okay. I'm not a big Dead Space guy. I actually had a few more issues of that, but I gave it to a friend who was into Dead Space. Oh, and Starstream. Yeah, not Starscream, Starstream. Linkara actually did a video on this. This is the comic that has the crazy version of the Thing. It's that, like, green monster with the 3 eyes and, like, weird, crazy hair. Oh, there it is. Man, I read this one I've had since I was a kid. I really loved this. Really bizarre comics. Yeah, I was a big fan of like Tales from the Crypt type of comics, and this was very much in that kind of style. Here we got old horror comics, Ghostly Haunts. Have I read this before? I'm sure I've read this before, but it was probably a couple of years ago. Oh wow, look at the old commercials on the back. I love seeing that. Another old horror comic, Dead of Night. Let's see. It's a Marvel one. Looks like a Tales from the Crypt style thing. I don't think I've ever read this one. Yeah. Oh, here's another thing. Oh, I do remember reading this, but I don't remember what it was about. War is Hell. It's another Marvel, like, horror anthology. Or war anthology. War horror anthology. Something. And then, Morbius, the living vampire. Heard he might get his own movie soon. That'll be weird. If you don't believe in ghosts, we challenge you to read True Tales of the Weird and Supernatural. Oh, from DC. Let's see, there was a... What was it? The Witching Hour, I think, from DC that I read when I was a kid, and I really liked it. Secrets of the Haunted House. Yeah, I have a whole bunch of, like, weird old horror comics, because I used to be big into, like, Tales from the Crypt. I remember being a little kid and watching Tales from the Crypt, like the live-action show. Let's see, Grimm's Ghost Stories, and we got a little, totally not Crypt Keeper up there. Or the Old Witch, or whichever one. Oh, Boris Karloff, Tales of Mystery. Oh, and there's another one. Another Boris Karloff comic there. Weird. Let's see. All New Midnight Tales. Alright. Oh, and then there's a little old packing thing from Toy Fair magazine. Let's see. Oh, this was like a little thing all about Japanese import toys. Let's see. Godzilla. Let's see. What's... Getter Robo, Microman, Chogokin. I don't know why that's in with comics. Oh, here's another thing I don't know why that's in with the comics. Transformers Beast Wars Sourcebook. It's like a little mini encyclopedia of, like, the Beast Wars characters and a bunch of the, like, Beast Wars anime characters, and they just made up a bunch of crap about them that has absolutely nothing to do with the anime, from what I remember about this. I wasn't a fan of, Beast Wars The Gathering, where they took a bunch of the Beast Wars anime characters and they just decided, do whatever. Like, I guess Americans didn't see the show anyway. Let's see, Dark Horse Presents. This was another, like, anthology comic I was big into when I was younger, and I probably shouldn't have been reading these when I was that young, because they were very violent. They occasionally had nudity. These were very disturbing as a kid. But, yeah. I've got a couple of these now. I think I gave a lot of these away, like, as I, got older. Oh, and here's something. Let's see, Scamp. Yeah, years before Lady and the Tramp 2, Scamp had his own comics. And they're actually pretty good. I still like, thinking about these. Let's see. The Jetsons. I have no idea if I've ever read this. I don't think I've ever read this. And, here's the Flintstones, Christmas in Bedrock. That makes sense. Oh, here's Andy Panda. I just, drew Andy Panda for DeviantArt a while ago. Captain Canuck for Free Comic Book Day. I used to have a magazine. It was all about a bunch of Canadian superhero comics. That was really strange. I remember reading about Captain Canuck in that, I think. Oh, and this is something weird. Los Four Fantasticos, or Los Cuatro Fantasticos. Yeah, Spanish Fantastic Four comic. I remember I took this to school, like to Spanish class, and they thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird thing to find. Oh, here's the other Scamp comic I have. Oh, and an Aristocats comic, or Aristokittens comic. I used to have, like, there was a movie adaptation of Aristocats as a comic from, I think, Gold Key, and the weird thing was they cut out the whole bit with, the drunk geese. The gooses, whatever. Oh, here's a whole bunch of Looney Tunes Gold Key stuff. Bunch of these, don't have covers, or they're falling apart. Let's see, this was apparently Yosemite Sam. Number 19. There were 19, at least, Yosemite Sam comics. Isn't that weird? Let's see, Porky Pig 52. Yeah, no cover. Oh, the back cover is on there. Whoopee. Barely. Daffy Duck 99. Wow. 99 Daffy Duck comics. Can you imagine? 1976. Oh, and this is weird. O.G. Wiz, boy president of the Tickle Toy Company. Now, I remember I found this, like, in a lot of comics, I think. Like, what was it? I was at a flea market, someone just had a big box, and they were like, you can have the whole box for $5. Okay, sure. And there was this thing in there, and I remember reading it, and there were some, like, surprisingly dark moments. Like, there was some guy trying to murder this little kid. And the kid was like, oh yeah, he tries to do that every month. Okay. Little Audrey and Melvin. I think I've had this since I was a little kid. I think we got this out of my great-grandmother's attic or something. These used to be like my really old relatives. Little Dot in Dotland. Oh, and here's Hot Stuff, although the top's been ripped off. Oh, here's another Jetsons comic. Oh, Richie Rich. Whole bunch of Richie Rich comics. Some in better shape than others. That one doesn't have a cover. That one has the cover. It's all stapled and taped up on the side there. That one's in okay shape. No cover, no cover, no cover. A couple with no covers. That one has a cover. This one's all taped on the side with masking tape. No cover. That one's just barely staying on there. Same with that one. These couple are in bags. And, yeah, there's all the Richie Rich comics. I used to like Richie Rich comics quite a bit. Let's see, what we got here? Sword Quest. Yeah, there was a comic based on the Atari Sword Quest games. From what I remember, this was a pretty good comic. Oh, and there's a little thing down here. Heroes Comic Shop momthroughout.com. Okay. Oh, and an Army of Darkness comic. Pretty sure I have this somewhere, but I don't know. I guess I held on to the individual issue. Let's see, a couple of Zena comics. Really like Zena. Really wish I could find more of these old Topps Zena comics. Oh, and Hercules. And what was this? Oh, I remember this thing. I think it was Dark Horse. There was like a horror anthology, Weird Tales Illustrated. I wasn't too into most of it, and I think I threw it away. But I did like this one story, which isn't even a comic. It's, yeah, it's like all text with some illustrations about a werewolf. And what do we got here? Tiger Woman, Genetic Park Adventure. Okay. Flipping through it, I don't remember anything about this. I don't think I ever read this. Wow, the artwork in here is really weird. Yeah, I got some really weird artwork. So yeah, anyway, yeah, Tiger Woman. Oh, and this is weird. Alternative Comics Presents Free Comic Book Day. And it's like an anthology of just indie comics. Oh, here's an old Shazam comic. Yeah, it actually says Shazam on it. Let's see, what's this? 100-page Super Spectacular. Okay. Oh, Killer Instinct. Based on the old N64 game, or Game Boy game. I grew up with the Game Boy game. I was so into it, I actually was able to beat the game with all the characters. I could never do that again. Anyway, yeah. I had this issue, and I really liked it. There was a weird thing, though. There was, like, some mistakes in the captions. Like, it says they go to somebody's room, but then they have pictures of the other person's family, and then it becomes their room. It was really weird. Anyway, 2 issues of the Killer Instinct comic, which I think got reprinted in Nintendo Power. Or maybe they were reprinted there? Something. Let's see, oh, Major Bummer, the first in-action hero. This was a weird DC comic all about this slacker dude who was given superpowers and he doesn't know what to do with them. So I got 3 issues of this, and I'd like to find more. It was a really strange comic. Oh, a whole bunch of Star Trek comics. Let's see, Deep Space Nine, Next Generation comics. Let's see, oh, Star Trek meets X-Men. Gotta have that. A free comic book day issue. Let's see, Mirror? Sequel to the legendary television episode, okay. Oh, and let's see, Mirror Images. Another mirror images. Oh, and I guess that's it. Oh, and here's let's see, one lone Powerpuff Girls comic. Let's see, which one was this? 54. I remember I looked up a while ago. I think there were like 70-something Powerpuff Girl comics altogether. I was getting the IDW reprints, the Powerpuff Girls Classics books, but then they just suddenly stopped, and they've never picked up again. So they covered, I think, the first like 50 or so issues. So I'm trying to track down all the ones that came after, but it's kind of hard because at the comic book store, the only Powerpuff Girl comics they ever have are like for the 2016 cartoon, because nobody liked it, nobody wants the comics, so they just pile up and nobody wants them. Here's the Goon. I really like the Goon. The Goon was cool. Oh, Cyborg. Let's see, Tales of the New Teen Titans. This was one of the first comics I ever read also. What a start to reading comics. Wow, this was amazing. And, like, I liked this so much that when the old Teen Titans cartoon came out, like, I was actually kind of like, eh. Like, it looks okay, but it's not the comic. Eventually, I did watch it, and I really liked it. And then, yeah, then the new one came out, and it was, Oh, here's a Witching Hour comic. Really loved these. I know I have another one lying around somewhere. Oh, and got some free comic book day, Lumberjanes comics. That's cool. What's this thing? Oh, Kaboom. Let's see. Oh, 2016 free comic book day. Oh, and there was the Lumberjanes and Labyrinth. That was why I kept this. There was a Labyrinth comic in there that I liked. Oh, and this is cool. Rib. Rib is a really bizarre comic all about this weird slug dude guy. Like, it's a weird, like, comic all about prejudice and racism, but with this little slug dude, like, going around the world, or going around his city, whatever, and dealing with stuff. It's really good. Oh, a bunch of Solar Man of the Atom comics here. Let's see, another, like, old Valiant thing from the 90s. Not super big into Solar, but he was cool. Let's see. Oh, EC. Another free comic book day sampler. Oh, and here's some Tales from the Crypt comics. Awesome. Oh, here's one of my, like, really old ones. Really, really love this. This is one I got from the bookstore. Man, I read this over and over and over again. Really loved it. I took it camping with me once. And then a Vault of Horror. Another Vault of Horror. Oh, and here we got a Predator comic. Oh, and another Predator comic. And another Predator comic. Let's see, Predator Homeworld, Jungle Tales, and a Strange Rouge? Rouge? I don't know that word. Rooks? Let's see, oh, Alien free comic book day comic. I used to read a lot of the Alien and Predator comics because I was a big... For whatever reason, the grocery store we would go to, they had Dark Horse Star Wars comics, and occasionally they'd get other, like, Dark Horse comics. Yeah, it was Dark Horse, Star Wars, and Kiss Psycho Circus. And then later they got Ultimate Spider-Man. Such a strange array of comics they would get. Anyway, here's Alien's Pig. And then, what's this? Oh, Bad Rock and Company, an old Image comic. I don't think I ever read that. New Men. I don't think I ever read this either. Oh, Planet 29! I did read this a ton. I was just in love with indie comics for a while when I was a teenager. I loved, like, the, like, surrealness and the pretentiousness of, like, some of these weird indie comics. Midnight's Quickies. I loved this one so much. I remember looking it up and trying to find more, and I could never find more. Oh, and there was a poem in here that I remember showing to my English teacher, and she really liked it, and I guess she photocopied it, and I probably still uses it. So that's cool. Cement Shoes. This is one I got from my comic book store when they were having one of those 50-cent sales. Let's see, it was a goofy comic about a goofy superhero who had big cement shoes. What's this? Quack Ducks, Who Cares? And there's, Howard about to be squashed, it looks like. I don't think I ever read this one. And what do we got here? Dead at 17. Looks like it's trying to be like Hack Slash. And the last one we got here is Help the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund Defend Comics. Alright then. So yeah, there's a bunch of random comics that aren't like Marvel DC stuff or things that I have a lot of up there or over there. So yeah, that's all for this one, I guess. See ya.